Welcome to the Reparenting Guide. I want to start with a woman I'll never forget. She walked into a doctor's office at 70 years old. She'd just been given 2 years to live, 3 divorces behind her, siblings she'd lost touch with, children who felt like strangers, a lifetime of people calling her selfish, careless, too much, not enough. She didn't come for treatment. She wasn't looking to be fixed. There wasn't time for that, and she knew it. She came for one thing. She wanted to understand, before she died, why her entire life felt like swimming upstream in a current nobody else seemed to notice. And here's what I want to ask you. Really ask you before we go any further. Is that what you're here for too? Because if some part of that just made you want to lean in, if some part of you understood exactly what she was looking for, stay with me. This series was made for you. And before we're done today, I'm going to tell you what she found and what it did. When that woman finally got her explanation, when the jigsaw pieces she'd been holding in her lap for 70 years clicked into a picture, something happened that doctor described as a shift from I am the problem to I have a problem that was never managed. I am the problem is a verdict. It's a sentence handed to a child before she had any words to argue back with. And children believe the people who are supposed to love them. So, well, we carry that verdict for decades, sometimes for an entire life. I have a problem is just a fact, a workable, forgivable, deeply human fact. The distance between those two sentences is the distance between a lifetime of shame and the very first breath of self-compassion. And this entire series, every episode we do together, is about walking that distance. I need to tell you something about myself. I am a certified life coach, a trauma specialist, a Reiki master. I have spent years helping other people heal their childhoods, regulate their nervous systems, break generational cycles. And I sat down one morning not long ago and I thought, I have done everything right. I've done the therapy, the inner child work, the breath work, and the Reiki, and the 12 steps, and the journaling, and the meditation. I've built 3 healing brands. I wrote a book called You Are Healed More Than You Know, and I still felt like something was wrong with me. Not sometimes. Not on a bad day, underneath everything, like a current I could never swim hard against or swim enough against, or you know what I mean. And then something clicked and everything rearranged itself. I grew up in a home where I was told, you think your life is bad? You don't know what bad is. Where I was hit, where I was gaslit into not trusting my own reality, where I never felt loved or like I belonged, even under my own roof. I was pregnant twice before I was 18. I was violated by people who should have been safe. I spent decades choosing relationships that mirrored exactly the chaos I grew up inside of, not because I was broken, but because my nervous system had learned to call that chaos home. I had done every healing thing I knew how to do, and I had never once been given the right explanation for why the current was so relentless. When I finally started understanding how my brain was actually wired, how childhood trauma and ADHD had been speaking the same language to my nervous system my entire life, I didn't feel fixed. I felt explained. And the grief of that, and the relief of that, and the anger at how long it took, all of it at the same time, in the same body, on the same Tuesday. That's what an explanation for your entire life feels like. A doctor I've been learning from said something I haven't been able to put down since. You've been blaming your character for what is actually your wiring. You've been blaming your character for what is actually your wiring. Let that land. Because most of us with ADHD, especially those of us who grew up in homes where we were already being told we were the problem, spent our whole lives convinced we were fundamentally flawed, lazy, careless, too much, bright but not meeting our potential, too sensitive, too scattered, and somehow just never enough. And here's the thing about the child who hears that from the people who are supposed to love her. She believes it. She builds her whole identity around it. And then she spends the rest of her life either trying to prove them wrong or confirming they were right. Beloved, you were never the verdict. You were a person, a beautiful, feeling, fast, hummingbird-hearted person in a world that didn't know how to hold you. And nobody told you that. So we're going to say it here together as many times as it takes. I want to be honest with you about something before we go further. This series is not a replacement for assessment or treatment or the support of a professional who understands ADHD. If your nervous system is whispering to you that something is different about your brain, go let someone help you understand it. That matters. What we do here is the layer beneath. Because understanding your brain is the doorway, but reparenting is what you do with the child who has been carrying that brain all this time. Somewhere inside you is a little one who absorbed every critical comment, and there were thousands of them, and decided the problem was her, not her wiring, not a world that wasn't built for her brain, her. Reparenting is going back to that child, not to fix her. There was never anything to fix, but to finally tell her the truth. Nobody told her then. It was never you. You were doing the most extraordinary thing. You were surviving. And I want to say one more thing because it is the most important thing I have learned in all of this work, including my own. I don't think this is something that gets fully healed. I think it's something we learn to live alongside, to manage, to find contentment with. And I have come to believe that living alongside it with grace and compassion is the healing. That's where we're going together. Not to a fixed version of you, to a you who finally came home. So before we close today, I want to do something gentle with you. Come back to this when you're somewhere quiet, if now isn't the moment. Take 3 slow breaths, real breaths, not performed ones. Just let your shoulders come down from your ears and your body. Remember, it's allowed to be here. As a Reiki master, I work every morning with a symbol called Hanshaze Shonen, the one that reaches across time and distance. You don't need to know a single thing about Reiki to use this. You just need to be willing to reach backward and forward. Hanshaze Shonen. I want you to picture the youngest version of yourself that comes to mind, whatever the age. The one who was trying so hard in a world that kept telling her she was getting it wrong. And I want you to send her just one sentence from the you that is sitting here right now. Something true. Something that she needed to hear back then. It was never your fault. You were doing your best. I see you now. I'm coming back for you. Don't force a feeling. Just offer the words. Breathe them towards her and let them land however they land. That small thing, that one sentence, is the beginning of everything we're going to do together in this series. I promised I'd tell you what happened to that 70-year-old woman. Her explanation didn't repair her relationships. It didn't give her back the years. It didn't undo what had already been done. But the doctor said he believed she spent the last 2 years of her life in a completely different relationship with herself. Softer, kinder. Finally on her side. She got 2 years of self-compassion after a lifetime of self-blame. And she said it was worth walking in for. You have so much more than 2 years. And you don't have to wait till the end to come home to yourself. The companion guide for this episode is in the description. A quiet place to sit with. At your own click, write your own letter to that little one and begin. The complete collection for the whole series is there too. Everything routed to one place. I made it especially for us. For you. Episode 2 is going to take us somewhere most ADHD content never goes. Into why chaos can feel like love. And why your nervous system has been choosing familiar over safe your whole life without you even knowing it. I hope you'll subscribe so you can get it when it's released. Hit the bell button. I'm glad you came here today. I'll be right here, going through all this with you. You are not alone, and you are never broken. In fact, you are healed more than you know.